Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are revisiting mixed numbers. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I notice it gets a lot of traction. Students are interested. Students do get confused. And I just want to look at all 4 different operations so you can really get some insights if you're still interested in knowing more about mixed numbers. Please like this video, please follow, please share, please tell a friend, and please come back for more. So mixed number basically are numbers and fractions. Together, we call them a mixed number because they have a little bit of number and a little bit of fraction. When the number on top is bigger than the number on the bottom, we call that improper fraction. It's not proper, if you know what I mean. If the 3 was on top and the 18 was on bottom, now that's decent. But this is definitely improper. If you're taking a test and you see a fraction like this, and you're looking for an answer and you don't see it, make sure that you do the last step. You know, how many times can 3 go into 8? 3 times 6 is 18. So this answer is truly 6 or 6 over 1. But the point I'm making is to really try today to differentiate. Make sure you know what's what. Make sure you know which fraction is which so that I'm using the terms you can follow. But today we're really looking at mixed numbers. We're looking at this. How do we add them? How do we multiply them? How do we take them away? And how do we divide mixed numbers? That's really the goal of this video. So let's get started. I'm going to show you all 4 at once so you can see the tricks that I'm using to figure them out. My board is so bad. I'll get a new board as soon as I make some money. All right, let's do 3.5 plus 2.5. All right, this is called adding mixed numbers. When you're adding mixed numbers, the 2 whole numbers get added together. This and this would be 5, and this would get added together. 1/2 plus 1/2 equals 2. 2 over 2. The denominator does not change. So that's how you add mixed numbers. You don't rename it. You take all the whole numbers, you pull them aside, and you take the fraction and you pull them aside. That's how you add mixed numbers. I'm going to get a little bit more difficult as we go along. So let's look at how we subtract mixed numbers just about the same way. 3.5 take away 2.5. Same thing. 3 take away 2 is 1, and 1/2 take away 1/2. You got nothing left, right? 0. Took away the whole thing. So when we're doing mixed numbers, when we're adding and subtracting, the point here is that we separate the whole numbers and they get added or subtracted on the side. And the fractions, they get pulled together on the side and get worked out over there. We don't combine them in any other way. But when we are dividing and multiplying mixed numbers, wow, I'm really messy today. When we're dividing and multiplying, it's different. Those you have to rename. Let's look at them. 3.5 times 2.5. Now this you can't pull to the side. This you have to rename, and this you have to rename. 2 times 3 equals 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 2. Do you see the difference? When we are multiplying mixed numbers, we don't We rename them, but when we're adding them, we pull the whole numbers aside away from the fraction and deal with them separately. I'll show you a trick at the end. Now, when we are dividing whole numbers, 3½ divided by 2½, same thing here. You rename it. So multiply and divide is renamed. They don't get pulled to the side. They get renamed. This becomes 3 times 2 equals 6 plus 1 is 7/2 divided by 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5/2. But as you know, with division, we flip or we take the reciprocal of the second fraction. This would really become 7/2 multiplied by 2/5. So when we're talking all the operations in mixed numbers, when you're adding and subtracting, you pull the whole numbers, you pull the fractions. When you're multiplying, dividing, you rewrite the fractions, you rename the fractions. Rename or rewrite, whichever word you use. You change them into an improper fraction and then do the math. Now, let's go back. So here you would also solve, you would say 7 times 5. 7 times 5 is 35, and 2 times 2 is 4. And again, the answer is improper. You could narrow that down. 4 goes into 35 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. You have 3 left over, and this is your truest answer, which you probably are not able to see, but the answer for this would go a little further than the improper. You still would get improper correct, but again, if you don't see it as a choice on an exam, you know that you need to reduce it to the proper fraction. So divide and multiply are opposites of the same coin. They both need to be renamed and then solved. Addition and subtraction, the whole numbers get pulled to the side and the fractions get pulled the other way, and they're solved separately and combined at the end, which you have seen, I think, in my addition video. So I really wanted to put this out there so that you really see all 4 different operations separately, so that you know that addition and subtraction, opposites of the same coin. Meanwhile, multiply and divide are opposites of that same coin. And those mixed numbers has to be renamed before you can solve them. Like this would be 2 times 7 is 14, 2 times 5 is 10. Ultimately, you get another improper as usual, and you would divide. 10 goes into 14 one time, and 4 is left over, 4/10. So that's what I wanted to show you. Now, there is a case in subtraction when I wanted to show you that. Let me see if I have time to show you that. I don't want to drag this on too much, or that might be a separate video because we may need to practice that a lot. So let's practice just, let's do one subtraction because that's the only one I never really put out there. And then I've done these. And you guys, I just uploaded a multiplication mixed number. So this is there. I didn't do division, but like I said, because they're the opposite of the same coin, you need to do the flip and change the sign. All right, maybe I'll do one division and then we'll do a subtraction and then I'll let you guys go. Okay. This is not the best YP board. Okay, I think we're getting there. So how are you guys doing in math? You can comment down below. You can comment some titles, some topics that you're still having trouble with. I mean, I'm getting there. I'm looking at grade 7 now, but there's still a lot of concept out there that you might need help with. All right, we'll do one subtraction. And I'm doing it with like fractions. When the fractions are not the same, then you will have the challenge. But let's do one with like and one without like. So I'm going to keep it to the same numbers. 3, I'm going to keep maybe 3 and 3 over 4. Take away 1 and 2 over 4. I'm keeping the fractions the same. These are called like fractions because they have the same denominator. But you don't always get them in the case of the same denominator. So we're going to try one with the same, one without. So let's do it. Again, I'm drawing arrows to show you the 3 and the 1 get pulled to the side. So 3 take away 1 is 2. So we have 2 ready and waiting. Now these 2 get pulled to the side. 3 over 4, take away 2 over 4. I made it simple. Equals 3 times 2 equals 1 over 4. Then now you take the 1/4, you bring it to this, and then your answer become 2, because that's what you have, and 1 over 4. In the end, you bring it back together. That's subtraction. Now, if you were adding, it's the same thing. If I put a plus sign here, and I put, you're gonna plus the 3 and the 1, that would give you 4 if you were adding. And I would add 3 over 4 and 2 over 4. I put a plus here. This would become 5 over 4. And then the answer would become 4 and 5 over 4. So they're opposites of the same coin. Whatever you do with adding is the same thing you do with subtraction. All righty. Let's try, I'm going to go over a division because I didn't make a video of that as yet. Let's do a division. 3½ divided by 2 and 1/3. Okay, again with division, you don't pull the whole numbers to the side. You rename. So to rename, you take the denominator, you times it by the whole number. 2 times 3 equals 6 plus 1 is 7 over 2. Remember, in division, we change the sign. So instead of me putting division, it now becomes multiply. And over here, we take the reciprocal. But let's do it first. 2 times 3 equals 6. Plus 1 is 7 over 3. So instead of putting 7 over 3, I'm going to put 3 over 7. Because you always take the reciprocal when you divide fractions. And then this becomes 3 times 7 equals 21. 2 times 7 equals 14. Wow. Okay, so again, it is improper, but you can go further. 14 into this goes only one time. 6 and 1 is 7 over 14. Okay. So that's basically, you would leave it as this, or even this is correct or this is correct. All right. So I think you got the clear distinction when it comes to mixed numbers. I'm just going to reiterate. Adding and subtraction, you pull the whole numbers aside, you pull the fractions aside. Multiply and divide, you rename, you rewrite, and they call it rename. It becomes improper, and then you solve for the answer. All right. If you have any comments, you can comment down below. But I wanted to show that big distinction since a lot of people were looking at mixed numbers. So that's pretty much how it is solved. But I will be back to show you how to subtract mixed numbers when the denominators are not the same and you need to borrow. A little complicated. I'm going to show you that on the next one. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much.